Commander Taemin Park walked down the long metal corridor of the alien ship. His boots made soft sounds on the smooth floor. The walls were covered in strange symbols that glowed with a soft blue light. He had never seen anything like this ship before. It was huge, bigger than any human ship ever built. Taemin wore his best uniform. The dark blue fabric was clean and pressed. On his chest were small metal pins that showed his rank. He was nervous, but he tried not to show it. Today was very important for all humans. Behind him walked 3 other humans. Dr. Yoonji Kim was a smart woman who studied alien life. She carried a small bag with important papers. Next to her was Captain Bo-Ram Lee, a strong woman with short black hair. The last person was young Hyunwoo Choi, who was there to help with translations. They were going to meet the Valerian Empire. The Valerians were one of the most powerful alien races in the galaxy. They controlled many star systems and had technology that humans could only dream about. If the meeting went well, humans would get access to new worlds and better tools. If it went badly, humans might be banned from this part of space forever. The corridor opened into a massive room. Taemin stopped and looked up. The ceiling was so high he could barely see it. Strange plants with silver leaves grew along the walls. The air smelled like flowers and metal mixed together. In the center of the room stood the Valerians. Taemin had seen pictures before, but seeing them in person was different. They were tall, much taller than humans. Their skin looked like crystal and changed colors as he watched. Right now, most of them showed cool blue and green shades. The most important Valerian stood in front of the others. She was Princess Lyra Velthera. Her crystal skin was more beautiful than the others, with patterns that moved like water. She wore flowing clothes that seemed to be made of liquid silver. Her eyes were large and completely black, like looking into deep space. "Welcome, humans," Princess Lyra said. Her voice was musical, like someone singing. "I am Princess Lyra Velthara, daughter of Emperor Kethamiran, heir to the Valerian throne." Taemin bowed his head with respect. "Your Highness, I am Commander Taemin Park. We are honored to meet you." The princess did not smile. Her skin shifted to show more serious purple colors. "Let us begin. Your species has requested trade agreements with our empire. You claim your people are growing in number and need new resources. Tell me why we should help you." Taemin had practiced this speech many times. "Your Highness, humanity is a young but strong species. Our population grows quickly. In just 100 years, we have spread to 12 different worlds. We have much to offer in trade. New ideas, different foods, unique art and music." One of the other Valerians made a sound like laughing, but not happy laughing. Princess Lyra's skin flashed with angry red spots. "You say your population grows quickly," she said. "How quickly?" Dr. Yoonji stepped forward. "Your Highness, human population doubles approximately every 50 years. Our birth rates remain steady throughout all seasons." The room became very quiet. All the Valerians' skin turned the same shade of shocked white. Princess Lyra's black eyes grew even wider. "What did you say?" the princess asked. "Our birth rates stay the same all year long," Dr. Yoonji repeated. "Humans can have children in any season, spring, summer, fall, or winter." The Valerians began making upset sounds. Their skin colors changed rapidly, flashing between red, orange, and dark purple. Princess Lyra held up her hand for silence. "That is impossible," she said. Her voice was cold now. "No civilized species reproduces year-round. Only primitive animals behave that way. The sacred cycle of reproduction happens during the bloom season, once every 3 of your years. This is how all intelligent life works." Taemin felt confused. He looked at Dr. Yoonji, who looked surprised too. They had not expected this reaction. "Your Highness," Dr. Yoonji said carefully, "I assure you that humans naturally reproduce throughout the year. We do not have a specific mating season." Princess Lyra's skin turned completely red now. The other Valerians moved closer to her, their own skin showing angry colors. "You lie to us," the princess said. Her musical voice was now sharp like broken glass. "You think we are fools who will believe such crude claims. You insult our intelligence and our sacred beliefs." "We do not lie," Taemin said quickly. "We speak the truth about our species." "The truth?" Princess Lyra stood up taller. "Very well. If humans truly possess this disgusting ability, then prove it." The room became silent again. Taemin could hear his own heart beating. Princess Lyra walked closer to the human group. Her skin was now a mixture of red anger and blue determination. "I challenge your species to prove this claim. You will have 1 full standard year. If you can demonstrate that humans can reproduce in any season, not just during a natural breeding time, then the Valerian Empire will give you our highest level of trade agreements. She paused and her skin turned darker. But if you fail, if your reproduction follows natural civilized patterns like all other intelligent species, then humanity will be banned from Valerian space forever. You will never be allowed to return. Taemin felt his stomach drop. This was not how the meeting was supposed to go. They came here to discuss trade deals for food and technology. Now the future of humanity in this part of the galaxy depended on proving something that seemed to disgust these aliens. Your Highness, he said, perhaps we could discuss other topics. No, Princess Lyra cut him off. You made this claim. Now you must prove it or admit you are liars. Which is it, human? Dr. Yunji whispered to Taemin. We should accept. We know it's true. This could actually be very good for us if we succeed. Taemin looked around the room. All the Valerians were watching him with their black eyes. Their skin showed they were angry and disgusted. But he could also see something else, curiosity. Maybe they were not completely sure that humans were lying. We accept your challenge, Your Highness, Taemin said. Princess Lyra's skin flashed with surprised yellow before returning to determined blue. Very well. We will provide a neutral location for this experiment. You will have 1 year to prove your claim. As the humans left the great room, Taemin wondered what he had just agreed to. The future of humanity now depended on proving something that had never been questioned before, and he had no idea how they were going to do it. The human ship New Sol felt smaller after visiting the massive Valerian vessel. Captain Boram Lee stood in the main meeting room, looking at the worried faces around the table. She had called together all the senior officers to discuss what had just happened. So let me understand this correctly, said Dr. Jinho Park, the ship's doctor. We now have to prove that humans can have babies at any time of year, or we get banned from this entire region of space. That's right, Taemin said. He still felt sick about how the meeting had gone wrong. Princess Lyra thinks we're either lying or that we're primitive animals. Dr. Yunji opened her tablet and showed charts to everyone. I've been researching Valerian biology. They really do only reproduce every 3 years, during what they call the bloom season. Their entire society is built around this cycle. To them, year-round reproduction seems impossible and disgusting. Captain Boram rubbed her forehead. She was tired after the long day. What exactly did they want us to prove? They're setting up a space station called Observatory Prime, Taemin explained. 2 humans will live there for 1 full year under Valerian observation. If those humans can, well, have a baby during that time, then we win the challenge. The room was quiet for a moment. Everyone understood what this meant. 2 people would have to live together, fall in love, and start a family while alien scientists watched everything they did. This is crazy, said engineer Woo Jin Kim. Who would volunteer for something like that? It's not just crazy, Dr. Yunji said. It's also our best chance. If we succeed, we get access to Valerian technology and trade routes. That could solve our resource problems and help humanity expand across the galaxy. Captain Boram stood up. I need volunteers. 2 people who are willing to spend a year on an alien space station, under constant observation, trying to prove something that should be obvious. Nobody spoke at first. Everyone looked at their hands or at the table. It was asking a lot of someone. Then a quiet voice said, I'll do it. Everyone turned to look at Hyunwoo Choi. He was young, maybe 25 years old, with gentle eyes and neat black hair. He worked in the ship's garden, taking care of the plants that provided fresh food and clean air. Hyunwoo, Captain Boram said softly. Do you understand what this means? Yes, Captain, he said. His voice was still quiet, but he looked determined. Someone has to do it. If it helps humanity, then I want to help. You would need a partner, Dr. Yunji pointed out. A woman who is also willing to participate. I'll do it too. This voice was stronger and more confident. So Young Han stood up from her seat near the back of the room. She was an engineer who worked on the ship's power systems. She had short hair and strong hands from working with tools. Everyone knew her as someone who was good at solving problems. So Young, Captain Boram said, are you sure? This isn't just a job assignment. This is personal, So Young nodded. I understand, Captain. But like Hyunwoo said, someone has to do it. I'm not afraid of hard work, and I'm not afraid of being watched. If this is what humanity needs, then I'll do my part. Dr. Jinho looked worried. You two barely know each other. How can you agree to spend a year together in such an intimate situation? Hyunwoo and So Young looked at each other for the first time since volunteering. They had worked on the same ship for 2 years, but they had never really talked much. He was quiet and gentle. She was practical and direct. They seemed very different. We'll figure it out, So Young said. People have gotten married for practical reasons before. This is just more practical than most. And more public, Hyunwoo added with a small smile. Captain Boram felt proud of her crew members, but also worried about them. Are you both absolutely sure? Once we tell the Valerians you volunteered, there won't be any going back. Both young people nodded. Dr. Yoonji pulled up more information on her tablet. I need to explain what you're getting into. The Valerians will monitor everything. Your health, your hormones, your behavior, even your emotions. They want scientific proof that humans can reproduce outside of a breeding season. What's the space station like? So Young asked. It's comfortable but small, Taemin said. 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living area, and a small workspace. The walls are transparent so you can see the stars, but you won't have much privacy. How much observation are we talking about? Hyunwoo asked. Dr. Yoonji looked uncomfortable. Constant. They'll have cameras, sensors, and regular medical checks. Princess Lyra herself will be in charge of the scientific team. The princess who thinks we're lying primitives, So Young said. Great. She's not evil, Taemin said quickly. Just very proud of her culture, and very suspicious of ours. Captain Boram walked over to the 2 volunteers. I want you both to take tonight to think about this. Talk to each other. Make sure you can work together. Tomorrow morning, if you still want to do this, we'll contact the Valerians. Hyunwoo and So Young agreed to meet in the ship's garden after dinner. The garden was a peaceful place, with plants from Earth growing under artificial sunlight. Hyunwoo spent most of his free time here, taking care of the vegetables and flowers. When So Young arrived, she found him watering small tomato plants. She watched him work for a minute before speaking. You really love plants, she said. He looked up and smiled. They're honest. You give them water and light and good soil and they grow. No lies, no tricks, no politics. Unlike our situation, So Young said. Yeah, Hyunwoo agreed. He set down his watering can and looked at her directly. Why did you volunteer, really? So Young thought for a moment. Because it needs to be done, and I'm good at doing things that need to be done. Also, I think the Valerians are wrong about us. We're not primitives. We're just different. And why did you volunteer? She asked him. Hyunwoo touched one of the tomato leaves gently. I've spent my whole life growing things. Creating life, helping it flourish. This feels like the same thing, just bigger. They talked for 2 more hours. They discovered they both loved old movies, both missed Earth food, and both believed that humanity deserved a place among the stars. They were different people, but they wanted the same things. Can we really do this? So Young asked as they prepared to leave the garden. Hyunwoo looked around at his plants. A year ago, these were just seeds. Now look at them. Sometimes things that seem impossible just need time and the right conditions. And some luck, So Young added. And some luck, he agreed. The next morning, Captain Boram received their final answer. Both volunteers were ready to represent humanity in the strangest diplomatic mission anyone had ever imagined. 3 days later, a Valerian transport ship arrived to take them to Observatory Prime. As Hyunwoo and So Young packed their few belongings, the entire crew of the New Soul came to wish them luck. Remember, Dr. Yoonji said as she hugged them goodbye, you're not just proving that humans can reproduce year-round. You're proving that love doesn't follow anyone else's schedule. As their transport ship flew away toward the space station, Hyunwoo and So Young looked back at the New Soul getting smaller and smaller. They were about to spend a year under alien observation, trying to prove something that had never been questioned before. Neither of them knew if they would succeed. But they were going to try. Observatory Prime was nothing like either human had expected. The space station was beautiful, built from some kind of crystal material that glowed softly with its own light. As their transport ship docked, Hyunwoo and So Young pressed their faces to the windows to get their first look at their new home. It's like living inside a diamond, So Young whispered. The station was small but elegant. Curved walls flowed smoothly into each other, and everything seemed to be made from the same glowing crystal. Large windows showed the stars outside, making it feel like floating in space itself. Princess Lyra was waiting for them at the docking port. Her crystal skin showed cool blue and green colors today, which Dr. Yunji had told them meant she was in a scientific mood. Behind her stood 3 other Valerians carrying strange devices that beeped and flashed. "Welcome to Observatory Prime," the princess said. Her musical voice echoed in the crystal corridor. "I am here to oversee this experiment personally." She looked at Hyunwoo and So-young with her large black eyes. "I still believe you are either deluded or lying about your species' abilities. But I will observe with an open mind." The princess introduced the other Valerians. Dr. Kethran Silmara was a tall, thin alien who would be the chief scientist. His skin was always pale silver, and he never seemed to show emotions. The other 2 were assistants who would help with the daily observations. "Let me show you your quarters," Princess Lyra said. She led them through the station. Everything was clean and smooth, but it felt cold despite the warm glow of the walls. Their living space had 2 bedrooms, a small kitchen, a sitting area, and 1 bathroom. The furniture was clearly made for humans, but it still looked alien with its flowing crystal shapes. "You will live here for 1 full year," Dr. Kethran said. His voice was flat and emotionless. "We will monitor your health, behavior, and biological functions continuously." He pointed to small crystal devices embedded in the walls. "These sensors will track your hormone levels, heart rate, sleep patterns, and emotional states. We will also conduct medical examinations twice per week." So-young looked around at all the monitoring equipment. "How much privacy will we have?" "Privacy?" Princess Lyra's skin flashed with confused yellow. "This is a scientific study. Privacy would interfere with accurate data collection. The bedrooms will have privacy screens that can be activated," Dr. Kethran added. "But all other areas will be under constant observation." Hyunwoo set down his small bag of belongings. He had brought seeds and small gardening tools, hoping to grow plants during their stay. "Can I have a small area for plants?" The Valerians looked at each other. Their skin showed puzzled colors. "Plants?" Princess Lyra asked. "Why would you need plants?" "I take care of plants," Hyunwoo said simply. "It's what I do. It makes me happy." Dr. Kethran made notes on a crystal tablet. "Interesting. The male human has emotional attachment to plant cultivation. This may be relevant to reproductive behavior patterns." So-young almost laughed at how the alien scientist made everything sound like a research paper. "He just likes gardening. It's normal for humans. We will allow a small growing space," Princess Lyra decided. "It may provide useful data about human nesting behaviors." The first week was very awkward. Hyunwoo and So-young were still getting to know each other, but they had to do it while alien scientists watched everything they did. They ate breakfast while Dr. Kethran took notes about their food choices. They watched movies while sensors tracked their emotional responses. They talked about their families while the Valerians recorded every word. The hardest part was that the Valerians did not understand human emotions at all. When Hyunwoo laughed at something So-young said, Dr. Kethran would ask, "Why did your facial muscles contract in that pattern? Are you experiencing digestive distress?" When So-young helped Hyunwoo set up his small garden, Princess Lyra asked, "Is this cooperation part of your pre-mating ritual?" "We're just being friendly," So-young explained for the 100th time. "But you are not in breeding season," the princess said, her skin showing confused purple. "Why would you cooperate outside of reproductive necessity?" Slowly, Hyunwoo and So-young began to understand how different the Valerians were. For 3 years at a time, Valerians lived separate lives. They worked alone, ate alone, and rarely spoke to each other except for business. Only during the bloom season did they come together, form temporary partnerships, reproduce, and then separate again. "No wonder they think we're strange," So-young said one evening as they prepared dinner together. "They don't understand friendship or daily companionship." Hyunwoo was cutting vegetables while she prepared rice. They had fallen into comfortable routines without even thinking about it. "Look at them watching us cook together," he said quietly. "They're taking notes about everything." Princess Lyra and Dr. Kethran sat at a small table nearby, their crystal tablets out. They watched the humans work together like scientists studying a new species of animal. The female assists the male with food preparation despite no apparent reproductive benefit. Dr. Kethran dictated to his tablet. "Maybe they just enjoy each other's company," Princess Lyra said slowly, as if testing out a new idea. Impossible, Dr. Kethran replied. Enjoyment of companionship only occurs during bloom season. This must be some form of pre-mating behavior we do not understand. As weeks passed, Hyunwoo's garden began to grow. He had planted tomatoes, peppers, herbs, and flowers in crystal containers throughout their living space. The plants brought color and life to the sterile station. Princess Lyra became fascinated by the garden. She would stand for long periods watching Hyunwoo water and tend his plants. Her skin showed curious yellow and green colors. "Why do you care for them every day?" she asked one morning. "They do not provide immediate benefits." Hyunwoo was gently tying a tomato plant to a support stick. "They need daily care to grow properly, and watching them grow makes me happy." "But happiness should only come during bloom season," the princess said, but her voice was uncertain. "For Valerians, maybe," Hyunwoo said, "but humans can be happy anytime." So-young was learning to appreciate Hyunwoo's gentle nature. He never got angry when the Valerians asked rude questions or interrupted their conversations. He treated his plants with the same patient care he showed toward everyone around him. She also noticed that he was thoughtful in small ways. He would make her favorite tea when she looked tired. He remembered that she liked extra pepper on her food. He would leave small flowers from his garden by her coffee cup in the morning. "You don't have to do nice things for me just because we're stuck here together," she told him one day. Hyunwoo looked surprised. "I'm not doing it because I have to. I do it because I want to. But why?" she asked. He thought for a moment. "Because you volunteered to help humanity just like I did. Because you're smart and funny. Because you make me want to be a better person." So-young felt something warm in her chest. She realized she was starting to care about this quiet, gentle man. Not because she had to for the experiment, but because she genuinely liked him. 3 months into their stay, something unexpected happened. Princess Lyra came to their quarters alone without Dr. Kethran or the other scientists. "I have questions," she said. Her skin was showing colors they had never seen before. Soft pinks and golds. "What kind of questions?" So-young asked. The princess sat down across from them, her elegant form folding gracefully into the crystal chair. "You spend every day together. You share meals, work on projects, talk about your thoughts and feelings. You do this even when you are not attempting to reproduce. Why?" Hyunwoo and So-young looked at each other. They had grown closer over the months, sharing stories about their childhoods, their dreams, their fears. "Because we enjoy each other's company," So-young said. "But that should be impossible," Princess Lyra said. "Enjoyment of companionship is a breeding season behavior. How can you maintain it constantly?" "Maybe," Hyunwoo said gently. "Your people are missing out on something beautiful." Princess Lyra's skin flashed with shocked silver, then slowly shifted to thoughtful blue. For the first time since they had met her, she looked uncertain about everything she believed. As they approached the halfway point of their year together, Hyunwoo and So-young realized they had stopped thinking about the experiment. They had started thinking about each other instead. And the Valerians were beginning to notice that human emotions did not follow any rules they understood. 6 months had passed since Hyunwoo and So-young arrived at Observatory Prime. The space station no longer felt strange to them. Hyunwoo's garden had grown to fill most of their living space with green plants and colorful flowers. The crystal walls now felt warm and comfortable instead of cold and alien. So-young woke up feeling sick one morning. She thought maybe she had eaten something bad, but the feeling continued for several days. When she missed her monthly cycle, she began to suspect what might be happening. "I think I need to see Dr. Kethran," she told Hyunwoo quietly while they were eating breakfast. The Valerian scientist was always nearby, taking notes and running scans with his strange devices. He looked up from his crystal tablet when So-young approached him. "I need a medical examination," she said. "I think I might be pregnant." Dr. Kethran's silver skin flashed white with surprise. Princess Lyra, who was watering one of Hyunwoo's tomato plants, dropped the watering container. The crystal vessel made a musical sound as it hit the floor. "Pregnant?" Dr. Kethran's voice was higher than usual. "But it has only been 6 months. You are not in breeding season. This should be impossible." "For Valerians, maybe," So-young said. "But we told you humans are different." The medical examination took 2 hours. Dr. Kethran used every scanning device he had, taking readings and measurements while muttering to himself in the Valerian language. Princess Lyra watched from the corner, her skin cycling through colors so quickly it looked like a rainbow. Finally, Dr. Kethrin looked up from his instruments. The scan results are conclusive. The human female is indeed pregnant. Approximately 6 weeks along, Princess Lyra sat down heavily in a crystal chair. Her skin was now pure white, the Valyrian color for complete shock. "This is impossible," she whispered. "Intelligent species cannot reproduce outside of their natural breeding cycles. It goes against everything we know about biology and civilization." Hyunwoo put his arm around So-young. They looked at each other with wonder and happiness. They had fallen in love during their months together, and now they were going to have a child. "Are you happy about this?" Princess Lyra asked them. Her voice sounded confused. "Of course we're happy," So-young said. "We love each other. Having a baby together is wonderful." "But you were not trying to reproduce for love," the princess said. "You were trying to prove a scientific point. How can you feel genuine happiness about an experimental outcome?" Hyunwoo smiled at the alien princess. "Your Highness, it stopped being an experiment months ago. We fell in love. This baby isn't just proof that humans can reproduce year-round. This baby is proof that we care about each other." Dr. Kethrin was frantically taking notes. "Fascinating. The humans have formed a genuine emotional bond outside of breeding season. They express joy about reproduction that was initially undertaken for diplomatic purposes." Princess Lyra stood up and walked to the large window that showed the stars. She stared out at space for a long time while her skin shifted through confused purple and blue colors. "I need to contact the Valyrian Council," she said finally. "This changes everything we thought we knew about intelligent life." Over the next few days, more Valyrians arrived at Observatory Prime. Scientists, philosophers, and government officials all came to observe the pregnant human and her partner. They conducted more tests and asked hundreds of questions. The questions were not just about biology anymore. They wanted to know about human emotions, relationships, and social structures. They were amazed that humans could feel love and attraction outside of a specific breeding season. "Do all humans experience these constant emotional connections?" asked Dr. Veltara, an elderly Valyrian scientist. "Most of us, yes," So-young said. "We form friendships, fall in love, care about our families, and build communities all year round." "But how do you get anything accomplished?" Dr. Veltara asked. "Emotions are so distracting." Hyunwoo was tending his plants while they talked. "Emotions don't distract us. They motivate us. I take better care of these plants because I love watching them grow." So-young works harder on her engineering projects because she feels proud when she solves difficult problems. The elderly scientist's skin showed thoughtful green. "You mean emotions make you more productive, not less?" "That's right," So-young said. "When we care about something or someone, we try harder." Princess Lyra had been quiet for most of these discussions. She watched the humans with her large black eyes, and her skin stayed in confused colors. Finally, she asked to speak with them privately. "I have been thinking about what you have shown us," she said when the other Valyrians had left. "For my entire life I believed that constant emotions were primitive and uncivilized. Valyrians pride themselves on being logical and controlled most of the time." She paused and looked at Hyunwoo's garden. The plants were blooming with bright flowers and growing vegetables. The whole space felt alive and cheerful. "But watching you two," she continued, "I see something we have lost. You create beauty every day, not just during special seasons. You care for each other constantly, not just when biology tells you to. You find joy in simple things like growing plants and sharing meals." Her skin shifted to soft gold, a color they had never seen before. "I envy you," Princess Lyra admitted. "For months at a time, my life feels empty and meaningless. I work, I study, I fulfill my duties, but I do not feel alive. Only during bloom season do I experience what you seem to feel every day." So-young reached out and gently touched the princess's crystal hand. "Your Highness, maybe your people could learn to feel more throughout the year. Maybe the bloom season could be just one special time among many happy times. That would require changing our entire society," Princess Lyra said. "Thousands of years of tradition and law are built around our reproductive cycles. Change is scary," Hyunwoo said softly. "But growth requires change. That's true for plants and for people too." As So-young's pregnancy progressed, something unexpected started happening on the space station. Princess Lyra began spending more time with the humans. She helped Hyunwoo care for his plants. She assisted So-young with her daily exercises. She asked questions about human culture, art, music, and philosophy. Why do humans create art and music all year long? She asked one day while watching Hyunwoo paint a picture of his garden. Because beauty makes us happy, he said, and sharing that beauty with others makes us feel connected. Princess Lyra tried painting a picture herself. Her first attempts were stiff and formal, but gradually she began to express emotions through color and shape. Her artwork showed her growing understanding of year-round joy. Dr. Kethrin was documenting everything, but he was changing too. He began to show more curiosity and wonder in his scientific observations. Instead of just recording data, he started asking questions about meaning and purpose. The human subjects have fundamentally altered our understanding of intelligent life, he wrote in his reports. They have demonstrated that emotional connections and reproductive capability can exist independently of seasonal cycles. More importantly, they have shown that constant companionship and creative expression may actually enhance rather than diminish intellectual and productive capacity. News of the pregnant human spread throughout Valerian space. Some Valerians were angry and said the experiment proved nothing, except that humans were uncontrolled animals. But others were curious. They wanted to know more about this species that could love and create throughout the year. Political pressure was building. Conservative Valerians demanded that the experiment be declared invalid. They argued that humans were too dangerous to be allowed in civilized space. Their constant reproduction could lead to overpopulation and resource conflicts. But Princess Lyra was learning that there was more to consider than just reproduction. She was discovering that year-round emotional connections could lead to stronger cooperation, more creative problem-solving, and deeper understanding between different species. As So Young entered her second trimester, she and Hyunwoo began preparing for their baby. They set up a small nursery area with soft blankets and toys, sent by their friends on the new Seoul. Princess Lyra watched them prepare with fascination. You are already caring for a child that has not been born yet, she observed. Of course, So Young said. We love this baby already. We want to give him or her the best life possible. Love before birth, Princess Lyra murmured. Another impossibility that you have made real. The princess realized that the challenge had become about much more than proving human reproductive capability. It had become a question of whether the galaxy was ready for a new understanding of what intelligent life could be. The final month of the challenge arrived faster than anyone expected. So Young was now 8 months pregnant and their baby would be born soon. The small crystal nursery that Hyunwoo had prepared was filled with plants, soft blankets, and tiny clothes sent from Earth. Princess Lyra spent most of her time at Observatory Prime now. She had learned to help with daily tasks and had even started growing her own plants. Her crystal skin showed warm colors more often than the cold blues and silvers of before. But outside the peaceful space station, the Valerian Empire was in chaos. News of the pregnant human had spread to every world in their territory. Some Valerians were fascinated and wanted to learn more about year-round emotions and relationships. Others were angry and frightened by what they saw as proof that humans were dangerous and uncivilized. The Valerian Council had split into 2 groups. Traditional members said that humans had proven they were animals who could not control their reproduction. They wanted all humans banned from Valerian space forever. Progressive members argued that humans had shown a new way of living that might benefit everyone. The council is demanding a final decision, Dr. Kethrin told Princess Lyra one morning. They want you to return to the capital and declare the results of the experiment. Princess Lyra looked at Hyunwoo and So Young, who were eating breakfast together while discussing names for their baby. They looked so happy and peaceful. It was hard to believe anyone could see them as dangerous. What will you tell them? So Young asked. The princess was quiet for a moment. Her skin shifted through thoughtful colors. I will tell them the truth, but I am not sure they will want to hear it. That afternoon, Princess Lyra received an urgent message from her father, Emperor Kethmiran. The emperor himself was coming to Observatory Prime to see the humans and make the final judgment about their challenge. My father is very traditional, Princess Lyra warned them. He believes strongly in the old ways. The idea of year-round reproduction and constant emotions will be difficult for him to accept. 2 days later, the emperor's massive ship arrived. Emperor Kethmiran was even taller than his daughter, with crystal skin that showed deep royal purple colors. His black eyes were ancient and wise, but also stern and unbending. He brought with him a dozen advisors and scientists, all showing the formal silver and blue colors of official business. They filled the small space station with their imposing presence. "So," the Emperor said in a voice like distant thunder, "these are the humans who claim to reproduce without seasons." Hyunwoo and So-young stood together, holding hands. So-young's pregnancy was obvious now, and she moved carefully with Hyunwoo's gentle support. "Your Majesty," Hyunwoo said with respectful bow, "we are honored to meet you." The Emperor studied them with his dark eyes. "You have caused much trouble in my empire. Many of my people are confused and upset by your claims and behavior." "We never meant to cause trouble," So-young said. "We only wanted to prove that our species tells the truth." "Truth can be troubling," the Emperor replied. "Show me this child that was conceived outside of a proper breeding season." Dr. Kethran presented his medical scans and data to the Emperor. The evidence was clear and undeniable. So-young was pregnant, healthy, and due to give birth within weeks. The conception had happened during what Valerians would consider an impossible time. "The medical evidence is conclusive," Dr. Kethran reported. "The humans have demonstrated reproductive capability during all seasons and cycles. They have also maintained emotional bonding and creative productivity throughout the observation period." Emperor Kethmiran's skin darkened to deep purple. "This proves only that they are uncontrolled animals. Civilized beings do not behave this way." "Father," Princess Lyra stepped forward. Her skin was showing brave gold colors. "I must respectfully disagree." The Emperor's eyes widened with surprise. His daughter had never contradicted him in public before. "These humans have shown us something we lost long ago," she continued. "They create beauty every day. They care for each other constantly. They find meaning and joy in simple activities. They are not animals. They are more civilized than we are." "Lyra," the Emperor's voice was sharp. "You forget yourself." "No, Father. I am finally remembering myself." Princess Lyra walked over to Hyunwoo's garden and touched one of the flowering plants. "For months I have watched these humans live with constant love, creativity, and purpose. They have taught me that our 3-year cycles of emptiness are not natural or necessary." She turned to face the assembled Valerians. "We pride ourselves on being logical and controlled, but we have created a society where most of our lives feel meaningless. We wait for bloom season to feel alive, but these humans feel alive every day." The Emperor's advisors began talking among themselves in worried voices. This was not what they had expected to hear from the princess. "You have been influenced by their primitive emotions," the Emperor said. "You are not thinking clearly." "I am thinking more clearly than I ever have before," Princess Lyra replied. "Father, what if we could feel connection and purpose throughout the year? What if our scientists could feel wonder every day, not just during breeding seasons? What if our artists could create beauty constantly, not just when biology compels them?" Before the Emperor could answer, So-young gasped and grabbed Hyunwoo's arm. I think the baby is coming." The next few hours were a blur of activity. Dr. Kethran and the Valerian medical team assisted as So-young went into labor. Hyunwoo stayed by her side, holding her hand and speaking softly to comfort her. Princess Lyra watched everything with amazement. Among her people, reproduction was a formal ceremonial process that happened in isolation. But she saw Hyunwoo's love and support throughout So-young's labor, and she understood that this was how humans always cared for each other. Finally, as the space station's artificial sun was setting, baby Taeyun was born. She was small and perfect, with dark hair like her parents and bright, curious eyes. The moment the baby cried her first breath, something unexpected happened. Every Valerian in the room began to show warm, golden colors on their crystal skin. Even Emperor Kethmiran's stern purple shifted to softer shades. "What is this feeling?" one of the advisors whispered. "It's joy," Princess Lyra said softly. "Pure, immediate joy at new life." Dr. Kethran was taking readings with his instruments. "Remarkable. All Valerian subjects are showing emotional responses typically associated with bloom season, but we are nowhere near that cycle. The human infant is somehow triggering our bonding instincts," another scientist said in amazement. Emperor Kethmiran approached the new family slowly. His skin was now showing colors no one had seen before, warm golds mixed with gentle blues. "May I?" he asked quietly. "May I see the child?" So-young, tired but happy, carefully placed baby Taeyun in the Emperor's large crystal hands. The ancient ruler looked down at the tiny human with wonder. "She is so small," he said, "so fragile. Yet she carries the future of both our species." Your Majesty, Hyunwoo said. What will happen now? Have we won the challenge? The Emperor looked around the room at his advisors and scientists. All of them were still showing the warm colors of unexpected joy. He looked at his daughter, who was glowing with happiness as she helped care for the new baby. Finally, he looked back at the small family who had changed everything. You have done more than win a challenge, he said slowly. You have shown us a different way to live. You have proven that constant love and creativity are not primitive. They are advanced. He turned to address the entire room. The Valerian Empire will honor the agreement. Humans will receive our highest level of trade partnerships and access to our territory. But more than that, he continued, looking at Princess Lyra, we will begin cultural exchange programs. My people need to learn what these humans know about finding meaning and joy in daily life. Princess Lyra's skin blazed with happy gold. Father, I want to lead those programs. I want to help our people discover what I have learned here. The Emperor nodded. Very well. You will be our first ambassador to this new way of understanding life. As the celebration continued, Taemin Park and the crew of the New Soul arrived to welcome the new baby and take the family home. But Hyunwoo and So-young had decided they wanted to stay at Observatory Prime a while longer. This place has become our home, So-young explained to Captain Bo-ram Lee. We want to help build the first mixed human Valerian research station here. And I want to create a bigger garden, Hyunwoo added, holding his daughter carefully. I want to grow plants from both Earth and Valerian worlds together. Princess Lyra smiled at the idea. A garden where different species learn to grow together. I cannot think of a better symbol for what we are trying to achieve. 5 years later, Observatory Prime had become the most important research station in this part of the galaxy. Humans and Valerians worked side by side, learning from each other's strengths. Valerian scientists discovered that year-round emotions actually enhanced their research abilities. Human engineers learned new techniques from Valerian crystal technology. Little Taeyun grew up speaking both human languages and Valerian musical speech. She played in gardens that contained plants from dozens of worlds, all growing together in harmony.